Well, what's going on, my friends? It's me, it's Ken with the Piercing Metal YouTube stuff from another comic convention. It's the Big Apple Christmas Con. Yes, getting ready for the holidays with the Big Apple Comic Con, and we're walking around talking to all the awesome people that we can talk to. Now, we stopped at the Horizon Line Comics section, and we're going to talk to David Rondinelli. What's going on, David? How are you?
I'm doing good, Ken. Hello, big internet out there.
Hello, internet. I like
it's
that.
Great to meet
That's
you.
Great.
I give you props for pronouncing my name right. So
Rondinelli, you know, I know you said before that it's not a relation, but I'm well connected with knowing the metal scene, and there's a famous Rondinelli on the drums that we have in the metal scene. So
yes, I have a famous Rondinelli too. My dad, his name is also Bob. So that's a small world, huh?
That is a small world. So let's talk. How'd you start the Horizon Line Comics?
Yeah. So all right. Well, I'll try to give you the Cliff Notes version, but
we got time. It's for the internet.
All right. Good. Okay. So I've always been interested in comics. Always loved it. Never thought it would be a reality, but it did, so it was great that God threw me a bone that way. But it kind of started with being a writer. I really wanted to get into the medium because I love the fact the way that you could just see the characters, you could see their expressions. You know, I think a lot of people enjoy visual mediums, so that's sort of what I was aiming for, but I love the idea of like almost kind of like being able to cement and crystallize a character when you see them posing. You know, you think of Superman with the flying, you know, these kind of like iconic looks that go with iconic characters. So that was what kind of made me really attracted to comics. But what actually got me into it we had a collective many years ago that kind of started off as an indie publishing group, and it was called Pronto Comics, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth on a lot of stuff. They were really great in the sense that they sort of made it like an apprenticeship. You could get paired up with whatever you needed. So if you were an artist looking for a writer, which almost never is the case, but if you were a writer looking for an artist, you could also meet up with them, and they would kind of like, you know, base your like relationship to see, you know, what you could do together, what you could plan together. And they also had different anthologies at that time that you could submit your work to, and it was a great way to get like a snapshot of what it would be like to work on a long form project. This was short form, but if you wanted to tackle it and really make a career out of it, you could see what it was like to go from scripting to penciling to inking to coloring to lettering to putting the whole thing together. And it was a really good like crash course education. And one of the things that was really nice is I learned that I could do some of these things myself. So I got into a lot of like circles that had Facebook groups looking for artists.
I need you to pause for one hot second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to interrupt David for a second, but here we go, continuing on.
That's all right, we're back again. Yeah, so I realized I could do a lot of the process myself, so I got onto a lot of networking sites. I used a very early one called Digital Webbing, where I met one of my first artists that I worked with long term. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. It was a very expensive experience, but it was really great. And from there, I just took a lot of the things that I learned, or at least got a experience with Pronto into my own work. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the books.
Sure.
Hockey Samurai seems interesting.
Yeah. So it's my take on kind of like the boy superhero that kind of becomes like a little bit of a vigilante. But basically, I got two issues here. So my character, he has a samurai mask that's been worn by different samurai throughout history, and when he puts it on, he has their abilities. And he has a sister who wants to be a big social media influencer and a singer. She decides she wants to try to brand her brother as like a kind of like neighborhood superhero. So together they start a business where they clean haunted houses. So first one, they're taking on giant rats. It's infestation, and this one is about a ghost-possessed washing machine.
Talk about being in the in the moment of the world today, a comic character that's inspiring to be a social media influencer.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, isn't it, what do they say? Like life imitates art, art imitates life. So
Amazing.
it kind of goes around in that circle.
So tell me about Node.
So she was the first book that I actually put together. She's well, on my own, the first one I put together, but she's sort of my flagship character. It's basically like if Batman and Sailor Moon had a daughter, and she is trapped in this city prison that's for mythological creatures. They've come out of hiding. Everyone's afraid of them, so they chuck them in these city prisons. She gets trapped in it, and to gain her freedom, she kind of becomes like a reluctant bounty hunter. But her thing is she discovers that she is also the ancient line of these old warriors that use their zodiac sign to as like a power source. So her power only works at night. She's got this glyph on her head there for Aries. So she has like that's a fire sign. So she like uses fire as like a power source. She's a weapons expert, all that stuff. But yeah, she good.
And moving on, you have Compendia.
Yeah, so this is a sort of a collection of all of my earlier work. This is the stuff that I did with Pronto when I was with them. So I got one, based that off of my dad actually, but it's about a cowboy that's an exorcist. He kind of travels the Old West, ridding the world of evil demons. I got this one is about a vampire slaying pizza boy, and this one is about an alien that is obsessed with an intergalactic pop singer. He tours around on her traveling asteroid planet, so think of like Disney World for her, but it kind of turns into a little bit of like Futurama meets Guardians of the Galaxy. So that yes, his story continues in these two down here. It's started off trying to just be like an experimental book that was supposed to be an homage to music and animation, and then it kind of decided to become a story that I wanted to expand on. So I'm hoping that there will be more life for Vesperitan.
What are these?
Yeah, so she is. This is kind of like my version of Disney princess. So she.
I like the look.
Thank you. She's Lili Zhang. She's like part jellyfish and part alien, and in it she's basically trying to survive her first assassination attempt. She lives in a world where it's very much technology based. There's not really any sort of like mystery or wonder anymore. So she likes to try to find magical objects to see if they're actually real, and that's sort of what sets the story in motion.
And I guess last but not least is Stray.
Yeah. This was the little story that could. I did not expect it to go as long as it did. I had originally started it as just sort of like a little one-off that was part of another anthology that was just supposed to be something that was lighthearted and kid-friendly. We, at the time, the collective I was working with, it was a lot of very like heavy superhero stories. So you had your like heavy metal, your kind of like anti-heroes, John Constantine types. So they said, why don't you try to do something that's lighthearted and that maybe like might bring in like a kid audience or something that girls might be interested in. So I only expected it to be like one little chapter, and then it turned into actually my second graphic novel. So it went for 6 issues. It tells a full story, but it's basically about this girl that's into cosplay. Her town gets cursed by a witch, and so she kind of goes on this magical adventure to get the curse taken off of it. But she buys this hoodie that has cat ears on it, and that's what turns her into a cat. So be that as it may, that's sort of what it's about. But so far, that's the books that I have.
Wow, and it's a lot of stuff. So I'm really, that's really fascinating.
It's been a blessing because I can usually always rely on artists needing extra time, a lot of extra time. So that really helped with payment schedules, where I could be like, well, they're not going to be done for a month. I could maybe get somebody else to get something. And the reason why I really tried to diversify a lot of my work was because I didn't want to rely solely on one project, because if I lost an artist, if something happened where the book wouldn't get finished, I had something else that I could kind of at least work on or bring to the table. And that was always a big dream. Was I used to come to these conventions, I used to see a lot of people that had tables, and I used to say, I want to be the person behind the table, and it finally happened.
And now you are. All right, well that wraps it up. That is a lot of stuff to absorb, my friends. Did you remember it all? No? Well, you're going to scroll back to the beginning of the video and play it again. That's how we roll here. Piercing Metal channel, do me a favor. you click that subscribe button, you click that there notification bell, and you like and leave a comment on the video. If you don't like the video, I say click like it anyway, because you want me happy. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, right, my friends? All right, see you next time. Thank you, David Rondinelli, for talking to me. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
From Horizon Comics, Ken. Bye.